In this video, I'm going to answer your questions on 75 Hard. So, first question. It was asked by several different people. How did you manage the water? So, what I did for the water is I bought one of these gallon drinking bottles and filled it up to the top every single morning, and then throughout the day I would decant it into this one because it's easier to drink out of this one. So how I managed the water is literally first thing I would do when I got up, I would drink a whole one of those before I even did anything else. Then I would just try and drink as many of these before 11 o'clock, because I found if I got to, so on this bottle it's got timings. I found if I got to 3 p.m. by actually 11, then that was probably the best way. I would literally just try and down as much as possible as early as possible. It did get easier as the challenge went on to do it, but on the days where I was not being on it and having to then finish the water by the end of the day, that was annoying. So my advice would be to just try and drink as much water as possible, as early as possible. And yes, the first 2 weeks of drinking the water, you do go to the toilet quite a lot, but then after a couple of weeks, it kind of just, I don't know, kind of just stops. It's not so drastic as the first couple of weeks. I drink quite a lot of water anyway, but I think that's definitely more, or I know that's definitely more than what I was drinking before. Question number 2, how did you manage the cravings? I actually didn't have many cravings. I can't actually recall there being ever a time where I was finding it difficult with the food. I really enjoy eating the food that I'm eating, and it fills me up, and I don't ever find myself thinking, oh, I fancy that, or I fancy that, or I fancy that. So I think the food thing, because I was doing the food thing before I started the 75 Hard, I think that was just, it wasn't even an issue. It wasn't even something I had to think about. Question number 3, what has this made you feel like mentally and physically now that you've done it? Mentally, I don't know if this is a combination of a lot of different things. Mentally, so there would be days where I really beat myself up about things, really was hard on myself about things, and I got into a rut of not wanting to do anything, not feeling good enough, not depression, but really low. I used to feel really low. I would have days every now and then where I'd feel really low. Since changing my diet, I think that has a drastic change on my mentality. But doing this challenge and proving to myself that I can do it, and actually it's not that hard, and you just have to commit, and you just have to stick to things, and you have to just be consistent. Mentally, that proving to myself that I can do it, and because half the reason I did this challenge is because I'm always being told I start things and I never finish things. I'm not a finisher. I don't see things through, and that is very true in a lot of areas in my life. And this challenge has showed me that actually I can. If I want to do something, I can do it. And actually, I did know that before, that if I want to do something, I can do it, and I will do it, because I'm stubborn, I'm determined, I'm disciplined when I need to be. So it was just reinforcing that belief in myself that if I want something, I will go and do it. Physically, I feel the best I've ever felt. And it feels so fucking good, and I never want to go back to feeling the way I felt before. Not before the challenge, but before I started this journey, really. The challenge is just upped it another level, and I just want to keep going. I want to keep going and see what I'm capable of. There's things that I can't do now that I want to be able to do in a year or two. I think the difference is, I think everything links together, because physically, when I've done I did, like I said before, I've done it before where I've worked out, I've stuck to a diet, and I never felt good then. I was having protein shakes, I was eating like a diet that probably didn't suit me. I was having like, and I was always hungry, and I was always tired, and I was always like having to find that energy. And now I just feel so good. I feel like I've got so much energy, and I feel like me again, because I used to have so much energy as a kid, and then it got to, I think I discovered alcohol, and I discovered like fast food and all of this stuff, and that energy that I used to have just like deteriorated over the years, and I just thought that was getting old, and I thought that was just like what happens when you become like an adult. It doesn't need to be like that. I've got so much energy now. I wake up and I'm like, I've always been a morning person anyway, but I wake up and my energy lasts throughout the whole day. It's just like everything is linking together, and it all makes sense, and it just everything I'm doing is helping me physically and mentally. My one thing that I would say to anybody that is like looking to improve themselves physically and mentally is just to start. Like, I put it off for so long. I put off doing this for so long because I was in a space where I just put it off for so long. Why did I put it off for so long? Like, I feel so good, like physically, mentally, like emotionally, like every part of me feels amazing, and I want to be able to like let people know that, because I know like how I felt then, and it's effort, it's like I feel horrible doing it, it's hard work, it's like I just remember like there's going back to the walking, how I was feeling then and like how I feel now. It's just two different people. Okay, question number 5. Did it take over my mind? Yes, but then I allowed it not to. So for the first 3 weeks, it took over my mind. It was like, right, I need to get this done. It needs to be like this, like regimented. Took over my mind, and then I thought, no, it's getting a bit too much. Like, I need to like take it back and just let it be and do it. And it doesn't have to be done by this time. It doesn't have to be done by this time. You can just do it when you feel like doing it. It just has to get done. So it did take over my mind for a little bit, and then I stopped, reflected, not like stopped the challenge, but I just stopped and reflected on what I was doing and how it was working, and then I just changed a few things, and then after that it was just part of my day, but not like, oh shit, I need to do that, I need to do that, I need to do that. It was like, it was in the enjoyable side of it. But in the first 3 weeks it was like, right, we need to do that. And then, yeah. So if you let it take over your mind, it will take over your mind. If you put things in place to allow you to just do it and it not take over your mind, then that would be a better way to do it. Question number 6. What was the reason behind the non-fiction entrepreneurial self-development type books? I think the reason behind this was because what you're doing is you're adding information to yourself. Like, you're adding like the books that I read during this time, and again I'll link it down below as a spreadsheet so you can go and check it out and like read them if you want. They added so much information and so much like knowledge and bits that just started to link together and make sense. And I chose the books I chose to read were all on like mindset and development and like mastering yourself and stuff that I'm really like looking at like implementing in my life, and it just, everything just clicks, and everything like what I'm doing this because of this, and this is happening, and this is happening, and it's just a way of educating yourself better. Question number 7. What was hard to start with, and did things get easier? The hardest thing was probably the water, and that just got easier once I got into a routine of drinking as much as possible first thing in the morning. Yeah, there wasn't anything that was hard. It was just the hardest thing is this, like doing the actual activity is easy. It's the hardest thing is doing it when you don't feel like it. It's that battle you have with yourself to get up and do it, and that as the weeks got on, it got easier and easier. But there were like a handful of days where I really had to push myself, really had to push myself to get out and do it, and it was just my mind. It's not that I'm lazy or can't be bothered. It was just like the way I was feeling at the time. I remember there was one morning I was laying in bed and I knew I had to get up and I knew I had to go for the walk, and I was tired, and like all I wanted to do was just roll over and go back to bed, and then I picked up my phone, which was like the worst thing to do, and then I started scrolling, and luckily actually this day that I felt like this, and I will message the person on Instagram to let them know it was this person. But I started scrolling, and I had a message from somebody that I don't know, somebody on that I've never actually met, but I had a message saying something like, oh, what you're doing is amazing, it's really inspiring and stuff like that. And I was like, fuck, like, and then I got up and went for my walk. Like that really like helped push me. And it's little things like that happen a lot actually in life, where you're really like doubting yourself, and then it's not external, because you can't have external validation. Like, you've got to have the validation for yourself, but also knowing that what you're doing is like inspiring and helping others is actually really like rewarding, like, and gives you like more energy and more motivation, I guess. And that one morning was probably the one morning where I could have failed on the challenge. That was literally the only one morning, and after that it was probably about midway through the challenge. But yeah, that was a really I'm going to message that person and let them know it was them, because that really helped me get out of bed that morning. Question number 8, was the diet the same as what I've explained before? Yes, I did follow the diet that I have showed you in the past on this channel, but I have added 3 things to my diet since then. So coconut water, bone broth and dark chocolate. Those are the 3 things that I've added to the diet. Question number 9, was it hard to get water while in the van? It wasn't difficult, because I'm based in Devon, so we have our regular park ups, we know where to fill up water, and when I've stayed in the van, it's been for a couple of days at a time, so I can like take everything I need for those couple of days. Going forward, this is something that worries me, not so much the water element, because there's always water and it doesn't matter going forward if I drink a gallon or not, because I won't be doing the challenge going forward all the time. The thing that does worry me about being in the van is the food element, because at the moment I store all my meat in the freezer, and then I just take it out every day to have every day. Moving forward, when I'm traveling in the van and where I'm going to be traveling, there's not going to be easy access to butchers to get the decent quality meat, and it's not going to be easy access to even shops to say, let alone butchers. So that's something that is playing on my mind a little bit going forward. But yeah, that's something different. Question number 10, would you do the challenge again? 100% yes, I would do the challenge again. In fact, once the 75 days were up, I just carried on. And my plan was to carry on to 100 days. I got to 88 days, and then I had an injury in my neck. Nothing to do with working out, I don't think. Slept on the sofa, and I have rearranged where my computer is, and I think that had something to do with it. So being on the computer and sleeping on the couch, those 2 things in one day, and then I woke up and I couldn't move my neck. I can move it now. It's still like still painful. I can still feel it. So I haven't done a workout for 5 days. It's killing me. It's killing me. But yeah, I've got to listen to my body. So that's what I've been doing, listening to my body. But going forward, 100%, I would do that challenge again, and I'm already eyeing up when I want to do that challenge again. Not say like much, and going forward as well, I'm going to continue like the habits of like the reading, and I think possibly the progress picture as well, because it's quite it will be quite interesting just to keep taking the progress pictures every single day, and then have like a catalogue of like images that you can then go like throughout like a year, and then 2 years, and then 3 years, just to see the change. It'd be quite interesting, because like the daily photos is an interesting element to it, because you don't see, and I think this is the psychology behind the daily photos, is you don't see the difference day to day, but over a period of time, that's when you see the difference. And taking the photos at the beginning, I'm like, oh, what's the point of this? Like, just and I didn't see the point of it. Now at the end, I see the point of it, because you can put them all together, and you won't be able to tell the difference within like the space of a week or like 10 days or something, but a month, 2 months, a month, 3 months, I can see why that's a thing. So yeah, I'm going to continue on with probably the 2 workouts a day, probably the reading, the progress picture, the food I'm doing anyway, and the water. I'll be mindful of how much water. I'm not going to like track it like I did for the 75 days, but it's gonna be a part of my life now going forward. But when I want to do it strict again, I'll do it strict again, and then I'll like fill up the water, make sure it's like the exact amount of a gallon and stuff like that. Yes, so I would do it again. Question number 11. Would I recommend people doing this challenge? So I wouldn't recommend doing this challenge if you are in the same position as I was in 10 months ago, where I wasn't fit, I wasn't healthy, I wasn't disciplined, I wasn't any of these things that I am now. I wouldn't recommend this challenge, because you're going to beat yourself up about it. You're going to like struggle, because it's like going from nothing to all, and it depends on the person, I guess. Like, I think I wouldn't have completed this challenge if I had done it 10 months ago, because of the mindset I was in, because of everything. I wasn't eating healthy, I wasn't exercising regularly, and I think I probably would have ended up injuring myself doing the 75 challenge, or I would have beat myself up about not completing it, or I really put pressure on myself. But now I'm in a place where I understand like me better, and understand like the psychology around everything that I've been doing better. I would recommend doing this challenge when your mind is in like a more of a I don't know how to explain it. So I'd recommend doing it if you know you can do it. So I went into the challenge knowing that it was going to be completed. I didn't go into, oh, is it going to be too hard? Am I going to be able to do it? Blah, blah, blah. I knew before I even started the challenge, at the end of the 75 days, I would have done it. And I like hadn't even questioned anything else. So if you're looking to get fit and start, I wouldn't do the challenge. If you're already at a stage where you're progressing in your fitness and your health and all of that journey type thing, I would recommend the challenge, because it just gives you that extra push and that extra like challenge, I guess. Question number 12. Would I ever enter races? This is a difficult one, because I have thought about it. I've thought about the competitive side of things, and I don't know where this is something I don't think I'm ready for just yet, because this is something that I think I would struggle with mentally, the competitive side of things, because I'm very, very competitive, and I'm very, very hard on myself if I'm not at a level where other people are at. So mentally, I need to get my mindset right before I start entering competitions, because I found in the past that I've really beat myself up if I'm not at a standard that someone else is at. And it's that comparing yourself to others. Like, this whole journey, all I've done is compare, like, myself to my last result, or where I was at like a month ago, and seeing that progress in, like, for example, my time, like my running times. When I started, my first 5k, I think I did it in like 36 minutes, and then I brought it down to like 33, and then 31, and then 29, I think it. And it's around, I haven't done another 5k run. I'd be interested to do another 5k run to see where I'm at now. But then I'm like, I've had this like 5-day period that I've had off, and it's like already stressing me out, because like, am I gonna start moving backwards? And this is all the stuff now I need to work on mentally, because I don't want to stop, because I don't want to lose the progress that I've made. And I've got to learn that this is just a part of the process. And this is where I've struggled in the past. This is like everything I do now, I'm questioning, like, why do I feel like this? What, like why and what, and how do I feel? Why do I feel this way? How do I feel? Why do I feel this way? And I'm learning so much by like just analyzing and reflecting, and like just looking at all, it's like I'm just looking at all these different elements. Like, so I want to, I have in the back of my mind that I'd triathlon, that would be quite cool. Like, I enjoy cycling, I enjoy swimming, and I enjoy running, and it'd be quite cool to do a triathlon. That's been in the back of my mind. But at the same time, I mentally, I'm not ready to do it, because I'm, at the moment, all I've been doing is competing against myself, like improving my own time. And I beat myself up about that still now. Like, I went out for a run the other day, and it took me, and I didn't want to go out for the run because I was feeling low in energy, and I knew that my time, I knew that I didn't have enough energy to like push for the, like, to beat my previous distance over a period of time. So I just went out and I went for a run. It was a really enjoyable run. I got a less of a distance than I did the previous week, because of A, how I was feeling, B, I had to stop for cows and horses on the track and all of this stuff. So all of these elements come into play. But I went out with a mindset that I wasn't going to beat my time, and I didn't beat my time or my distance. And I come back, but I really enjoyed the run. It was like a different type of run, and this is the balance. Like, I like to just go out for a run and not have any pressure. I just like to go for a run, enjoy the views, enjoy just being outside. And then I have this other side of me that, while I'm doing that, I'm thinking, oh, I should be just going as fast as I can, far as I can, to get a better time than last week. So I'm very competitive. So I need to learn to balance these two things, and I am learning, and I am doing it, and it is nice to be able to, I come back from that run where I was like, oh, I just had a really nice run, really enjoyed that run, even though it didn't beat a time, or I didn't get like as far as I've been before. So putting that pressure on myself to compete in races right now is probably not the best thing for me to do, because I just need to learn to compete with myself first and be happy with, like, balancing that. Because as soon as I start comparing myself to others, which is a really, really shitty thing to do, but I need to learn how to not do that before I start entering races, if that makes sense. I need to get more of the psychology around that into my head before I do that, because even like even I do it now to this, like when other people put their times up or their like maps of where they've run and stuff online, I could go down the route quite easily of like, oh well, my time's nowhere near that time, I'm never going to get that time, I'm never, and I'm learning like this process. I'm like, okay, they're doing a 5k in 25 minutes, that's a good target for me to try and reach, rather than like, oh, I'm never going to be that good, I'm never going to get that time, I'm never going to, like, that's now in my head, okay, I want to run 5k in 25 minutes. And like at the moment I'm struggling to run 5k in 28 minutes, like that's a real push. But if I start being like just putting that, like that's a goal in the back of my mind, but I'm not focused on that goal, I'm just focused on the process. Okay, so I need to just like do this faster, I need to do this faster, I need to do this faster, and I'm not beating myself up about it. I'm not like, oh, I'm never going to be that good, I'm never going to like that. And that's what I would have done in the past. I would have just like given up because I'm not there, and I'm never going to be there, and I'm shit, and I'm fucking like, that would have been me in the past. And now I'm like, oh, that's a good target to aim for. Like I want to improve my run time, I want to be able to do like a pull-up, I want to be able to do this. Like before I looked at it as like, this is it, and just literally clicked then. Before I looked at it as in a fixed mindset way. Now I'm looking at it in a growth mindset way. That literally just clicked then. But yeah, the whole journey, I'm loving. It's, yeah. I can't even remember what the question was now that I just answered. The race. Yes, I would like to do a race in the future. I'm not fussed about doing it anytime soon. I've got a lot of plans in the next like 3 years, so just staying active, keeping fit and staying healthy for over the next 3 years is going to be the challenge, because I'm going to be here, there and everywhere, and that is something I want to be able to just maintain, and then maybe races in the future. So thanks for the questions, thanks for watching the video, and see you in the next one.